Hi, it's Cassie Oelberg from Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, but coming to you from Conakry, Africa. So, this country girl has learned something about herself. I did not realize how much of a country girl I am. There is prayer time 6 times a day in Conakry, and it is loud and joyful, but it is loud and it begins at 5:34 a.m. There is also cars blaring their horns nonstop. So that is lovely. I think beeping the horn means just about anything from hello to get out of my way. So, and also they, what else was I going to tell you about the noise? Oh, Mother Nature is also very noisy as it is rainy season. And last night I had a dream that I was a fish. And whenever I woke up to the pounding rain, it was because the sheet of rain was coming straight at the great big huge windows in my daughter's room and going down the sides. And it was like I was in an aquarium with the waterfall going right next to me. So anyway, that was much better than the thunder and lightning the night before, but still. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know. We're going to hop on over. Whoopsie, that was not what I meant to do. I accidentally hit a button. What did I hit? Okay, done. Those are my media assets over there for CCI. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and stop clicking that. My computer is touchy today, and that is a fact. Okay, let's go ahead and get this up here. Woo! Okay, we're here. Let's get started. So this is the mirror image of the sketch that we're going to do today. So oftentimes I mirror image a sketch so that I can turn it into a 2-page spread. And I'm actually going to show you what I originally had until my husband told me it was too busy, and I changed it up a little. So as we make it, I'm gonna tell you about that and show you. I am still working out of my suitcase pod. So, I guess I need to pull up my other view so you can see that. So I've got suitcase pod going on back here, and I'm working right out of it, and it is working lovely. So if you are traveling and you need to not take quite so much stuff, you can make do with what you have. I promise you, it's a thing. And you can scrapbook wherever you are, which is exciting. Okay, so this is my mirrored page. I'll just move this out of the way, and we will pull this over because this is what we're building on. I went with the cobblestone because we were at this beautiful old church and we were going through the town and there were cobblestone streets. And so it was just super fun. And I used that from the Renaissance collection. Those little mini collections, they're $20. Love them. And then I decided to pair it with this plain cool gray because it was a little busy. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this 11.5 by 9.25. So I usually cut the smaller one first, the 9.25 first. And the reason I do that is because when I cut the 9.25 first, this is enough that if I want to make a border out of it later, I can put it into my border maker system. So that's why I usually choose to do that. And then we're going to cut it at 11.5. And this is just a little scrap. If I wanted to do some writing on a page, I could snip this and use it like the write-on stickers. So that's always fun. So that's going to come over here. And I went ahead and I built on this, and then I added it to the page. So let's go ahead and center this here. So 1/8. So there we go. And now I can do my measurements. So the first thing that we are going to need is this beautiful piece right here. Now, let's go over to suitcase pod and pull out our Renaissance collection. So in here I have this. And the reason I keep all of my cut scraps in here is because when I don't, I accidentally cut multiples of the same piece of paper. So if there's a piece in here that will work for what I want, I always try that first. So let's see, do I have any of this brown in here? And no, I do not. So that's always the first place to check. If that fails me, then I can come in and get a new piece of paper, and then it will go into the cut paper folder. And that way I don't mess up and end up with 14 of the same pieces of paper cut. So I am going to cut myself a 5x7 piece. So cut it. Let's see which direction this was on here. Like that. So I want to cut it at 5 here. Into my cut file you shall go. And I'll turn it, pull out my little foot. It's always interesting working on limited space. It teaches you all kinds of fun things about your scrapbooking style and how you do things. So there's my 5x7 piece. And that is going to go here. And now I need my little pieces to go here. So let's go back over to my simple sleeve where I have my cut pieces. And, well, obviously that's it because that's what I cut my last ones out of. So I'll just continue down. And I need 4 of these. And I'm saving my little ones because I will use those on another spread later. But I do want them all the same size, obviously. And I could angle my paper and try to get just the size I need, but this is just a lot easier. And then I'll just have my other little ones for another project. Okay, I am going to rip these off because obviously I'm not going to use this for anything else. And then this can go into my cut paper file. Okay, next up we are going to need our little strips that go across here. And those are deep sea green. Now, when I originally did it, since I'm working with stained glass, I thought that this would be super fun. And I started with that. And my husband came out and he said, honey, that's a little wild. And he does know my style, so I listened. I may have pouted for a little bit first, I won't lie. But in the end, I phoned a friend just to be sure he was right. The things we do when we're scrapbooking, huh? See, that's one of the many reasons that I find scrapbooking alone to be kind of hard, because I like to hold it up and have people tell me, that's more wild than you usually do, Cass, and I can decide whether I'm going to ignore them or listen to them. But anyway. I am going to show you what that looks like, though. So I stacked them, and you just want to make sure that at this end they are together. And I'm going to measure 9 1/4 and cut these. And then I will stack these two. Make sure those ends are perfectly together. And measure over. Whoop. Might help if I lifted my arm. Measure over to 11 1/2. And there we go. So now we have these pieces all cut. And I'm going to go ahead and put them down. Now, how am I going to show you this? Here, I'll just go like this. So when I originally did it, I had this here. I had this on it. And then I used these pieces. And I guess it was a little bit busier than what I would normally do. But I was having a little bit of fun trying to work with what I had. I am saving those strips because since I only can work with what I have here, I want to make sure I don't run out of paper. And if I want to use strips somewhere else, I want to have them handy. So it's been very, very interesting trying to make sure that I have exactly what I need. I like scrapbooking in my cabin, where if at any given moment I decide I want something, I just get up and get it. I have to say, I have become very spoiled, and I carry everything in stock. So there's not like a moment that I have to wait for anything. And I'm learning that I'm a little bit of a princess when it comes to scrapbooking. So if I change my mind about what color of cardstock I want to use, I have to wait till I get home to fix that. So it's always fun to learn stuff about yourself. Okay. And as you saw, I put it down and I'm just measuring the 1/8 of an inch around and getting these little pieces down. Love repositionable tape because you can kind of wiggle it until it's exactly where it's supposed to be. And voila. Now this is going to go in the upper corner. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to leave an 1/8 of an inch around each spot there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my picture down. This is so exciting. I will be done with this album whenever I get home, and I just have to add these pages in, and I can move on to doing, we can stay on the African edition because then I will print my pictures from here and I will do them. So the driving is wild here. They have absolutely no traffic laws. And I think that in the huge city, there may be 3 whole traffic lights. And I'm not sure people 100% pay attention to those. And they just drive and they just go and they go fast. And they cut each other off. And I don't know. My daughter learned how to drive in it. And I'm very impressed with her abilities because it makes me want to cry. I won't lie. Okay, so now we're going to add in this photo over here. So we want it to be 3.5 by 5.5. And remember, I dummied up and I forgot my, I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch off each side. I forgot to bring my photo cutter one. So I planned to not bring my photo trimmer, but I did plan to bring my blade that has a P on it. And I keep that underneath, and that way I don't dull a good blade. But I did not, so we're just powering through with what we have. Okay, so this one I'm going to put down right over here. And then I changed my sizes of my photos on the other side just a little bit. I made them 3.25 by 3.25 and 3.5 by 3.25. So we're going to come over here, and this one is going to be our 3.5. I am cutting this one down a little bit more than I really wanted to, but I really like the layout, and the pictures are next in the album, and we're just going to go with it. So what did I say? 3.5 by 3.25. So let's see what we have to cut off the top here. Play around with the size a little. I think this is actually going to work out pretty well. There we go. Got to focus in on that stained glass, and that's going to go over here. Ah. And so that's the fun thing. You can play around with your sizes a little bit and see what fits in for you. And then this one is going to be 3.25 by 3.25. So let's see what we're going to cut off. I'm going to cut a little bit more off the bottom. Now this was an art gallery happening in a church. It was really cool. And we stopped in. And my daughter was shopping, and she got a cute little mushroom art. Okay, from this guy right here. So these cute little mushroom arts. And it's fun to support the local, the local art galleries and things whenever you're somewhere special. And then you always have that piece of artwork from wherever you went. we've always told the kids that that's the most fun way to collect furniture and artwork and stuff like that, is to get things every place you go. And then those are your souvenirs instead of stuff that are just going to sit around your house. Things that you're actually going to use. It's so much more fun. I don't know what we're going to end up with from here. There's lots of beautiful furniture, which just seems a little bit crazy. I'm like, who buys this? But they have some very affluent people as well as the less fortunate here. So they do have a lot of really beautiful furniture lining the streets that you can check out. Now, I won't be bringing furniture back, obviously, even though I did bring 4 suitcases of stuff just for my daughter and packed in my carry-on. She wanted all kinds of things like Powerade and ketchup and things that she can't get here. So I really loaded up on this stuff for her. You should have seen our packing abilities. They were stellar. Okay, so now we're going to get our magic folder over here and see what we need. So I do need a piece like this. So, and then I also need this red piece. Let's see if any of this will work. Might not be quite big enough. We'll find out. What else do we have? Oh, we have this. I'll check that out. Okay, well, we'll see which piece is closest to the cut we actually need so we can save the bigger pieces. Paper conservation becomes ever more important when you only have so much of it with you and you want to get through all of the virtual crops while you're away. Oh, goodness. Okay, so we need a 3 by 1 3/4. So let's see. Is this 1 3/4? This one's 2. This one is also 2. Okay, so this is the smaller. Oh, wait, what's this one? Let's see. So that's above 3. Okay, so let's do our 1 3/4. And then by 3. That'll use up our least amount of paper. Okay, and then that can all go back into the magic folder. And this one looks like it might actually be the right size. We need 3 by 1 1/2. So this is 1. Oh, actually, silly me. This one is the 1 3/4, and that is 1 3/4 by 3. And this one is actually the smaller one, which is 1 1/2. Paper waster, paper waster. Look at that. I wasted that. Putting it in the folder anyway, just in case. You never know. You just never know. Okay. So now I'm going to bring these over and I'm going to create these. So they're going to go over here and the little pieces are going to go there. So what I did was I folded them. Together. And then I wanted to go from the corner up so that I have that little slit, or from this fold down, however you want to look at it. And so I'm going to do my dip. And now I've got my 2 banners, which will go over here. And I have these 2 little ones that'll go down here. Okay. So here's my tape. And I'm going to bring this one in 1 inch from the side. Help if I keep it on my mat so I can measure it. So 1 inch from the side. And it didn't really matter that it's 1 inch from the side. It's just that I want it to be symmetrical. So I went with the opposite of what I did on the other side. This one I had measure over to the 6 inch mark. So now it's over the 6-inch mark. Be helpful if I put it up against the cool gray, and voila. And now, what did I just do with those 2 little pieces? Okay, they're down here. Whew, whew. I'll tell you what. So this is going like this. So I want the red one to go first down here. And let me see how far this one was from the edge. Just 3/4. Now I've lost the brown one. There it is. I need a sous chef to get somebody who wants to travel with me and be my sous chef. I don't know. It was a little rough getting here, guys. I don't know if anybody's actually going to want to do that. It's funny how many people we've met that my daughter works with that have said, nobody comes here. Nobody visits their family in Africa. And we're like, well, we do. Because apparently nobody comes to Conakry. They meet them other places. But we always told our kids, go anywhere and do anything, and we will show up. So here we are. Okay. So now we have this one done, and we need something up here. And you know what I'm going to put up here? This is where I'm going to put my writing, because I have, so I built this little embellishment cluster. When I do those, I just start with the big piece that I want, and I find the little pieces to go behind it, and I just build them right in the air and pop them down, and that way I have them how I want it. So over here, I will do my writing, and I think I'm going to put a little journal box there. So let's go back here to ye old, ye old pod suitcase. And let's see what we have. Okay. So this section right here is, let's just measure it. Now, normally I would have the knot layout roller to measure with, but I didn't want to bring extra stuff with me, so I have the layout one, and I will use that. So I can make it 3.5 that way and be happy, and I can make it, if I started the right thing, 2 3/4 that way. What did I say this way? 3.5. 3.5 by 2 3/4. Let's make that happen. This might not be wide enough. Oh, I think it is. Okay. Get that off the side. So 3.5. Ah, this is perfect. Didn't even have to waste anything. Love it. By 2 3/4. And now I have space to write about getting our artwork and about Adriana asking the guy all the questions so she got exactly what she wanted, and the meaning behind it and all that fun stuff. And I'll go right there. And I think I want to decorate this box a little. So let's see. Here we go. Pod holder. So let's see, what would look cute on here? It doesn't need a lot. I just want a little decoration up in the corner. I really like this. This can go right down here in the corner of my journaling box. And I just need one. I don't need a lot. Okay. And now we have a double page spread from sketch 2 from the August crop. So let's come back over here. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you had fun and learned something, and wish me luck, because apparently we are going out to dinner. So that's always an experience on these roads. Talk to you soon.